Hi, this is Margo. This is Saturday evening, July 13th, 2019, 7:21 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. This is going to be a short report because I don't know how long my voice is going to last, but I did want to bring you an earthquake report and a short update on Hurricane Barry. A lot of people are reporting on this. It's a dire situation. The hurricane is actually forming as it's coming on land, and this is the first time I've seen anything like this, because usually we have an eye that, the storm will form out in the ocean, and it has an eye and it has arms, and then it becomes more well formed. Well, it never created an eye, and the arms have not even now, they're not that well formed. This is from NASA Worldview today. Here it was yesterday where it was just trying to form. Here it was from the 11th out here. I mean, that does not look like anything that would form into a hurricane. But now, once it made landfall, they're labeling it a hurricane because of the wind speed and the sustained wind speed. It's moving really slow, and the problem is it's going to be dumping a lot of rain for days, maybe a week, maybe longer, because I believe this storm is being managed, and you can see it forming as it's going on land. And normally hurricanes form out in the ocean. Once they hit land, they start falling apart. So this is totally backwards. So I think it's manipulated. It's a man-made storm is what I think, and it could be with AI and computer generated, for all we know. Here is Climate Reanalyzer from today with the clouds. It's also raining in the Arctic. We have new holes in the sea ice. I'll just show that while we're here. We have brand new holes in the sea ice forming all the way across. So I did a sea ice update earlier this week, so I'm not going to go into great detail on that. But if we look at, we can go to hourly forecast maps. Now this is how you do it, so that if I'm not around to show this to you, you can come over here and do this. We can look at the global 10-day, and we're going to go to United States, and we're going to go to total accumulated precipitation, and you can change the start date over here. You can go back even and start it back, but if we do it from today, because see, it's already come on land and it's already up into the purple right here today, which is 5 inches coming on land today. And right now New Orleans is kind of not in the middle of it, but this is going to be awful. This is just going to be awful. So if we run this, here it goes. Now this is going over a 10-day period, and see how wide it's spreading. It's spreading into East Texas, and it's spreading all the way up and all the way, I mean, it's actually going all the way up to the northeast. And we can see it's going to be getting heavy amounts of rain. This is accumulations, and this is what's going to cause the flooding everywhere. And Remember, they've already gotten a lot of rain in the last few days, so so it looks like this rain event is going to be covering about half the United States. Half the United States from Texas over is going to be having a rain event, and the whole northern part is going to be having a rain event. The only parts of the U.S. that are not going to be covered up in rain in the next 10 days is going to be from some of the western areas and out to look, even Arizona's getting rain. Gonna get rain. That's coming up from Mexico. So Nevada's clear, California's clear. Those are the only two states that are not going to be getting some kind of significant rain in the next 10 days. It looks like. It's insane. I'm sipping on warm lemon water right now, and that seems to be helping my voice. So I just need people to pray for me, because everybody's coming under attack right now because of the satanic forces, and wherever their weak part is, that's where they're going to come under attack. And my voice is how I do these videos and how I keep in touch with everyone and get the message out that we are in the end times, and you better get your shit together now, because time is running out, folks. For a lot of people, time is running out. Now, if we go back, because this started a few days ago, let's go back to the 10th. And see, because it was already raining. Remember that first storm that came over, it was already raining. So starting on the 10th, 10 days out from the 10th goes into the 20th. Now here comes Barry barreling on up. So this is accumulated precipitation. It's going to be awful. So this, along with all the earthquakes, there's going to be so much flooding and devastation from this. I'm thinking the U.S. is going to be done. And I live here. So we go through the 19th on this, and so that's the accumulation starting from the 10th for a 10-day period, and you're seeing up to it's in this light color, this light orange, between 24 and 30 inches. And, less than that around here, but 24 to 30 inches right there. That's awful. And we can also, I'm showing you how to do this so that you can come over here and see. You go to radar, and then we go down here, and this is the latest GOES satellite image where it's hitting, and this is from the air, so it's already dark on the east coast. It's 7:30 my time, it's 10:30 their time, so it's dark all the way across over there. And so you can see where the big metropolis cities are, where it's all lit up. That's the network of the lights. But here is You click on it and you can get the full image. And then we can blow it up. So here's what it looks like right now. This is the latest GOES satellite image. So where is the storm is what I'm asking. You know, it looks like it's forming as it's coming on land. Like I said, it never made an eye. It looks like a big blob. It's all wrong. It just feels wrong. Here's a post from Hal Turner today. I'll leave a link below, and he gives a good update on what's going on in New Orleans. I'm not going to read the article because my voice can't take it, but you can go here and read all the updates. There have been levees that have overtopped and breached, and there's already flooding, and they're going door to door to evacuate people in certain parishes, in certain areas. And, you know, we knew this was going to happen. You know, they wait till the very last minute until, you know, the water's flooding down and all the roads are flooded and, you know, you can't get out. And then there's, you know, hundreds of cars on the highway while you're trying to get out. And, you know, that's what they do. And I watched some video this morning. They were saying telling everyone to shelter in place. Look at this. Look at this. These cars. Look at the water is up to the hood of the car, and here's probably one of these big, tall pickup trucks, and it's almost to the top of that. How the hell can you shelter in place when the water's flooding like that? Seriously. We're living in the end times, folks. In case you hadn't figured it out by now. Okay, now we're going to look at earthquakes. See all the red dots? They're coming in fast. This is why I had to do a show, even though my throat is killing me. I don't have an infection. I know I'm not sick. I know I'm coming under attack. This is what it is. And I've been saying prayers, and my best friend saying prayers with me. That's helped a bunch. But it's the way it is. It's the way it is. So this morning, I've been screenshotting the event area in Southern California, Ridgecrest, Searles Valley, Coso Junction. This morning, what time did I take this picture? At 9:09 this morning, there were 1,246 earthquakes worldwide, and in the event era there were 1,010. So we're seeing a noticeable decrease in the number of earthquakes here. It's going down. This could be the calm before the storm, though, and the fact that the big pressure wasn't released means that it's still sitting there, you know, and you know it might just be moving over to somewhere else to blow up. But right now we're seeing 995 earthquakes worldwide, and this morning there were 1,246. So we can see the number of earthquakes are going down, and of those 995, 56 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So we can see that the number of large earthquakes are going down quickly too. But we just had one at Yellowstone. We just had a 4.0 at Manhattan, Montana. So we'll be looking at that in a minute. Now, of these 56 in the event area, there have been 30 that are 2.5 magnitude or higher, and they've been 2s and 3s. I haven't seen anything. Here's a 3.8. That looks like that might be the highest. Yeah, I did see. Here's a 2.8 at Olancha. That's at a negative depth, meaning the epicenter is up in the volcano. I'm assuming it's an old volcano. That's a volcanic field there. So that shows that the magma is moving up into the old cones. It's at a negative 0.1 kilometer depth. That came in at 11:14 this morning. So we got 30 here. So let's see what's about to come off the map. Okay, we're going to go down here first to Columbia on volcano discovery. This was listed as a 6.1, I think, on volcano discovery. It's a 4.6 here on USGS near Augustine, Codazzi, Columbia. This came in last night at 7:39 p.m. 129 kilometers deep. This came in right after I finished my show last night and got it up. But on volcano discovery, I'll show you. But people didn't feel it. Here it was, 6.2. They called it a 6.2, and they said strong magnitude 6.2 earthquake on Saturday, July 13th. It came in at 2:39 UTC time. Now, this is the same earthquake. Yeah, so this is 7:39 my time. And if you add 7 hours, that's 2:39 a.m. on the 13th. So that has got to be the same earthquake. 6.2. Well, that's a big difference than a 4.6 or whatever USGS said it was. It was a depth of 149 kilometers. Nearest volcano is the San Diego, 545 kilometers away. It was equivalent to 1.9 atomic bombs. Someone in Florida said very weak shaking. They felt it. Now these people from Russia in St. Petersburg, I don't know why they keep putting posts. They post on every single earthquake. They say not felt, and then they write something out in Russian, and it's the same thing every single time. I don't know. And so all of these people say not felt. So, 1,291 kilometers away, not felt. Well, I think it would be, more important if someone was right next to it and they said, I didn't feel it, rather than 1,200 kilometers away. This is just stupid. People are just stupid. And I'm thinking it's just a whole bunch of AI bots putting stuff in. Why not? Not felt. St. Petersburg, Russia. Well, I would think that St. Petersburg, Russia would not feel an earthquake from South America. I would think they would not feel it. A 6.2. Now that's come off the map. So, here's one. Here's a 3.5 at the Dominican Republic. That's that came in at 7:06 this morning. Okay. What else is about to come off the map? Let's see. 3.2 at Anchor Point, Alaska. That came in at 8:17 last night. It's okay. I'll be done with my report by then. We'll get that. So I want to start up here. Here's another. Remember I showed one on EMSC that was on Iceland yesterday? Well, look. Here we've got one just south of Greenland, right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, of 4.4 near, it's on the Reykjanes Ridge at 9:09 this morning. Then let's come on across. This is a huge one here. Off the coast of Algeria, North Africa, in the Mediterranean Sea. This is a 5.0 near Gigel, Algeria. This came in at 2:56 this morning. Now the water buffers any kind of earthquakes. We don't know. When it just says 10 kilometers deep, that's the default number that USGS puts in if they don't know the depth or they don't want us to know. So we don't know really how deep that was. More than likely that didn't cause any damage, even though it was a large earthquake. Here's one on Greece, a 4.7 near Krikelos, Greece. This came in at 8:08 this morning. All these times I'm telling you are Pacific time because that's my time zone. Next, we've got in the Arabian Basin of 4.5 at the Owen Fracture Zone region, right on this red line. This came in at 4:19 this afternoon. Next, 4.9 on the Mid-Indian Ridge. Just followed this red line down. This came in at 2:38 this afternoon. And these are almost all 4s, but look at all of these dots that are popping up. They just keep popping up. Next, 4.3 near Ashkasham, Afghanistan. This came in at 2:40 this afternoon, 232 kilometers deep. Now this We saw one here last night too. Here's one in India, 4.3 near Yaripok, India at 8:08 this morning. Well, what else was it at 8:08? I just said something was at 8:08. I just said 8:08. Maybe it was the Greece. Yeah, 8:08. This Greece earthquake happened at 8:08. And this India earthquake happened at 8:08. Same time. This one was 63 kilometers deep. Next, down here in the South Pacific, we've got a 4.6 south of Fiji Islands at 6:44 this evening. Very deep, 527 kilometers deep, very deep. Then a 4.3 near Mombasa, Fiji at 11:16 last night. This was 601 kilometers deep, very deep, and these will cause the movement of the plates around the planet. The deep ones will. Next, 4.8 near Tobelo, Indonesia at 2:58 this afternoon. Then a 4.6 near Cogdianal, Philippines at 5:17 this afternoon. See? That was right on the coast. That probably didn't cause any damage, but you could feel it, I'm sure. Here's a 4.6 near Davao, Philippines at 10:36 this morning. 4.7 Maritzo Village, Guam at 2:51 this afternoon. That's all on the west side of the Pacific. Then over here we have 5.6 on the southern East Pacific rise at 12:59 this morning, just after midnight. So this is not far from the Antarctic, and we're seeing methane coming up over here on the Larsen ice shelf. We're seeing it coming up over here on the side of the Weddell Sea. It's coming up here. It's coming up at the Amory ice sheet. It's coming up over here near the Pine Island Glacier. So things are happening, and nothing is normal anymore. Nothing is normal. Here's a 4.8 near Puerto Oyora, Ecuador, off the coast of Ecuador, right on this red line. This is near the Galapagos Islands. This came in at 5:05 this morning. See, here are the Galapagos Islands. So this was not too far from this little tiny North Island. These are volcanic islands too. And last year we saw some sulfur dioxide coming up from these areas. So then here's a new one, 4.8 near San Luis Iscan, Guatemala at 6:57 this evening. So see, most of these are in the 4s range. So that's all of the international earthquakes. Now we'll go to all magnitudes. And on Hawaii, We're showing 11 here tonight. Here's 2.2, 1.9, 2.1, 1.7, 1.8, 2.0, 1.9, 2.0, 1.7, 1.9, and 2.1. So they're clustering here at Pahala, here around Kilauea, and then we had one in the crater at Mauna Loa. This 1.7 was in the crater. Now coming over to the Caribbean. We've got 6 here today. 2.1, 2.3, 2.3, 3.5, and a 2.6 and 2.0. This 3.5 was on land at the Dominican Republic. Now, that's not big enough to do damage, but it's getting up there. 110 kilometers deep. Now in Alaska we've got 68 here today. For our larger ones, we've got a 3.2 at Anchor Point. That looks like it's near Redoubt. 2.9 Kodiak, 3.0 Kodiak, and 3.9 Koktovik. .0 at Tanaga Volcano. Look at this. Here's a line coming up, and here's Redoubt. These are all near Redoubt and Old Iliamna there. So you're seeing them lining up. Here's Anchorage, and they're just coming on up through the state. 3.2 right there. Here's Redoubt, Redoubt. I think this is Redoubt. This one's Old Iliamna. Here's some 2s right there. We've got a cluster up here in the north. We've got 12 up here at Koktovik. We had a 3.9, that was the highest up here. So these are getting up there. These are higher than we normally see up here. So we're seeing, even though there's a decrease in the number of earthquakes, we're seeing higher ones in places that they're normally smaller. Okay, now let's go to the lower 48. And we're showing 883 down here. Now let's get our calculator. 791 from the event area. So we got 92 in the lower 48 that are not part of the event area. Oops. Let's go over here. We're going to start here in the New Madrid hazard zone. We got a 1.6 near Dyersburg, Tennessee. Came in at 12:37 this morning. We've got 5 in Oklahoma. Looks like we've got a cluster happening at Blackwell. 2.9, 1.7, 1.9, 2.2, and then a 1.8 at Blanchard. So 2.9 is the highest there. Coming on across. Look, Arizona's clear, Utah's clear. Look at this. For Yellowstone today, there was this 1.1 at Lincoln that came in at 1:26 this morning, and then a 4.0 came in at Manhattan, Montana at 6:52 this evening. It was 6 kilometers deep. That's getting up there. That's it at Yellowstone. Okay, in the Pacific Northwest, look at all this. Now let's look at the tremor map. I've got it pulled up. This is for yesterday. And remember we saw the 4 point whatever it was here at Seattle yesterday. I think it was a 4.2 or something. We've got some more here. Here's a 2.3, 1.9, and a 1.3, all up in this Seattle area. And then we've got some coming further south. But let's go back to our tremor map. So they were tremoring yesterday. There were 21 in the epicenter yesterday. That's the latest data we have. And the earthquake was right up here. And then we've got some more on Vancouver Island. And then we've got some down here by Medford, Oregon. So if we look back, let's go I know, continue anyway. Now, we can see what happened. This is last 7 days, all magnitudes. So, here is where we've had this cluster, and that's where the tremors happened. See? Right there. So the tremors are accurate. So it was a 4.6 that came in at 2:51 p.m. 2:51 a.m. on July the 12th. Let's look at the tremor map the day before and see if it was shaking up there. No, it wasn't. So in addition to the earthquakes, they were showing tremors up there too. So it was the 4.6 at 2:51 this in the morning yesterday, and then the 3.5 at 2:53. So 2 minutes later, and then they kept on. And then, so in this area, if we zoom in, okay, we've got 17 here, right there in the same area, and that's at Cathcart and Monroe and 3 Lakes, and these are all since yesterday. There have been 17. Okay. So we're going to turn this off. Let's go back to 1 day all magnitudes. We don't want the system to get a nervous breakdown. Look at this straight line, how those are going there. Okay, next we've got 0.4 at Packwood, 0.7 Packwood. Now here's Mount Rainier, that's near. And here we've got 2 right in the crater of Mount St. Helens, a minus 0.1 and a 0.2, and then a 0.3 at Morton, which is just to the north of Mount St. Helens. That was at Packwood. And we've got a 0.9 at Mount Hood Village. Remember we had that cluster down here, so that hasn't stopped yet. I think I forgot last night there were some earthquakes over here too last night. Here's a 0.8 at Topanish, and here's a 1.4 at Desert Air, and the 0.6 at Desert Air. And this is right next to that Hanford nuclear facility, so that's not a good thing. And they had a, what was it, a 2 point something over here yesterday. Yeah, so that's not good. So we're showing a lot of activity up here, and then a 1.6 near Glide, Oregon. So this is the Cascadia subduction zone. This is the Juan de Fuca plate. This is the San Andreas fault line. So when people talk about the Cascadia subduction zone collapsing, then they're talking about this plate going down, submerging, tsunami coming in, and washing out all the seacoast there. And it could affect all the way down. So, and also it has been said by some geologists that if this falls, then that could trigger Yellowstone. Then it's game over for everybody. Or if this goes down here in the event area, that could trigger Yellowstone too. I mean, it's all magma and it's all connected, and the magma is coming up. It's on the move. I mean, you can just see it. You can just see it moving. This is why we're doing these reports every day, because we can see patterns. Okay, we've got 2 near Reno, 0.2 and 0.6 near Truckee. Then down here in the Hawthorne area, there was a 2.4 at 1:17 this morning. Then here's some smaller ones by Walker Lake, a 1.0 and a 0.6. Okay, northern Nevada's clear. Here's a 1.8 at Pioche. And we've got 2 down here at Beatty, 2 small ones. Southern Nevada is very quiet today. Here at Mammoth, it's slowed down. It's only got 4 here today. This 1.6 is the biggest one. Northern California is clear. At the geysers, we've got 25 here today. That's kind of an average number. Now this is the weekend. This is a Saturday, and so the earthquake makers are not at work. Hopefully we don't see any blasts or explosions. Okay, so these are ones and under, so we're not going to worry about those today. Here in the San Francisco area is a 1.1 at Berkeley, 1.1 Gilroy, 2.0 San Lucas. Here's 1.8 Tehachapi. Here's one in the ocean off the coast of Baja at 2.6. And in Southern California, excluding the event area, they've got 33 here today. Now that's a pretty average number for down there. So these are all under 2.5 magnitude. This red line is the San Andreas fault line. So we can see them peppered around. Let's just see what some of the larger ones are. Your ones, these are small. It's kind of surprising considering the pressure that has not released. These are very small. The highest is like 1.5 and so forth. Now coming on up, okay, this was at Mammoth. We saw those. So here, that's what I've got pulled up here. Same thing. It's just I haven't zoomed in that close. So here in the event area, we're still seeing, now these red dots are recent earthquakes that have come in. They're still going northwest, southeast to northwest. This is Ridgecrest, Cyril's Valley down here. This is Coso Junction, Olancha area up here. This is Trona over here to the east. So we can see it's spreading out. We've got a big cluster over here. It's still coming in over here at California City and Johannesburg. We can see they're spreading out in these mountains too, and even all the way out to Tehachapi. Now here they're showing 29, 2.5 magnitude or higher, and the largest ones, now these have been 2s and 3s. It looks like 3.3. That's the largest one. Here's a 3.8. That's the largest one I'm seeing. They came in at 3:29 this morning, 3:25 this morning at Cyril's Valley. And look, it's a little bit further over, but that's where it's spreading out. So like I said, it's slowing down. It hasn't stopped. 792 in the last 24 hours. So we'll see what happens down here. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I think that a lot of pressure got built up that hasn't released yet, and we know that magma is coming up higher, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing it just coming up in the crack there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. See if anything else has happened. 2.6 Blackwell, Oklahoma. 2.1 Pahala. We might have already reported on those. Okay, here's a new one. Here's a 4.5 near San Jose de Jacal, Argentina. This came in at 7:25 tonight on land there. 110 kilometers deep. So I'm going to wrap it up for there. And like I always say, I do believe we are in the end times. And every day that we're here is that much closer to us not being here, obviously. But we need to get our spiritual houses in order. We need to not dilly-dally and be prepared for whatever is going to happen. And we need to be praying for all the people in the paths of all these disasters. And I'm praying for everybody, but we need to be praying for the people in the path of Barry, and people in the path of all these earthquakes and volcanoes and everything. And I pray that it's not too late, that if people want to be saved, they can be saved. It's not that hard. All you have to do is ask for Jesus to come into your heart and to forgive you, and that you believe in Him, and then ask Him to guide you. Then you got to stop doing the things you were doing before. Stop doing the bad behaviors and walk the straight and narrow. And if you're sincere, you'll be saved, and your soul will not be trapped. Because this is about salvation of the souls. It's not about the body, it's about the soul. And Satan wants to trap the souls. He's trying really hard. So I pray for everybody, and if there's anybody who can be saved, I pray that you are saved. So until next time, God bless you. Go in peace, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.